Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and today we are looking at a character that has only just started showing up, which I kind of expected him a while ago, but nonetheless, he seems to be new on the shelves. This is Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Cyclonus, and that's his box. But he's not in the box because I've got him right here. But nonetheless, let's take a look at the box just to get a good look there, because the box art is very, very nice. This whole line, really the whole War for Cybertron trilogy has had very, very nice box art. And then you get to see the figure on his Stargate thing there, and you get to see what I'm sure for many people will end up being a regrettable face tattoo at some point in their lives. And you've got some legal mumbo jumbo there, and then we've got the Kingdom artwork on the side, which is actually a very, very nice illustration. I really like that. And we've got Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy and a Decepticon symbol because he is a Decepticon, and more gobbledygook on the bottom of the box. And so that's the package for Cyclonus. But honestly, what we really want is to see Cyclonus. Here he is. Let's go ahead and put him on the other camera so you can really appreciate everything about Cyclonus in his vehicle mode. So here he is in his vehicle mode, and I feel like for fans of Cyclonus, this is the toy that most of us have been waiting for 30 years, something like that. He was introduced in Transformers the movie in 1986. It is now 2021. I'm not going to do the rest of the math because it makes me feel old, but nonetheless, we finally have a substantial Cyclonus toy that really kind of delivers on the promise made by the movie. He looks great. He is pretty large. He is a Voyager class figure, and he's very dynamic. And this time, here, let's go ahead and take him off of this camera. So this time you can see that even in the underside, you've got no robot face here, which is very nice, because if you remember the original Gen 1 toy, there was a lot of robot face there, and it was smaller. It was like you had this awesome looking character in the movie, and then you got the toy and it was a little like, oh, I mean, it's cool. It's a cool spaceship, but So yeah, this guy, he definitely does not look, oh. That being said, he is a little bit monotone. He is a very, very light purple, and that's more animation accurate. In the cartoon, he was kind of, they would have highlights all over him to show that he was metal. But of course they tried to capture that here, and I feel like a little bit of a darker purple would have been fine. I also noticed that he's got some really, really neat purple metallics here. Let me go ahead and put it on the other camera again so that you can see this. See those nice metallic purples that they've got on what are going to be the kneecaps of the robot. And they're shimmery and shiny, and then they've got those dark purple accents. Well, I wish that we had more details like that all over him, because the rest of him is just this light purple, and it's not a bad purple, but it does seem like it could use a little bit more depth. And maybe this is something that a little bit of hand painting and some touch-up would help with, to just make all of the molded in detail kind of pop and bring his vehicle mode to life a little bit more. But nonetheless, it's still a really nice vehicle mode, and it's very solid. You can see that it does have landing gear, but of course the landing gear, it has kind of mushy detail, and there's no paint applications, there's no actual rolling wheels, which honestly, I mean, we don't get that anymore. That's just something that that these days you're not going to get functional landing gear with little rolling wheels, and you're certainly not going to get those things painted or anything like that. But again, those are the things that would really make this go from like an 8.5 vehicle mode to a 9.5, or dare I say maybe a 10? I don't know. I love the styling. I love the way that it looks. I love the dynamics. I love the backwards wings. Even though these are part of the transform, I feel like they're also kind of functional as wing flaps, and it's a great little detail to have on there. And I love the square thrusters. It's funny because I was just talking in my video about Blue Jet. Yes, I know he's not blue, but nonetheless his name is Blue Jet, or Phytor for GoBots fans. Yeah, now we've got two jets with square thrusters, even though he's got these circles in there, which of course would be Bloosh compatible, so that you could have the blast effects parts going and stuff like that, and that's very, very cool. He's got his gun on top, which is a little bit sticky uppy, but it looks great when it's in his hand, and we're going to show that. In fact, why don't we just go ahead and show it right now? So I'm going to take the gun out of the back, and I'm going to fold in the landing gear. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to transform the wings into arms. And there's some great maneuvers that happen with this transformation scheme. So you pull the arm away from the side because it's pegged in right here with this tab and this hole. And then we're going to go ahead and take that little flap and fold it over. And then we can disengage the arm from this little tab. You see there's a hole there and a little tab right there that it locks it in. And now we can fold this, and it's got a double joint here. You see how that works? And so we're going to do that, and we're going to fold it backwards to give Cyclonus his iconic wing coming out of the shoulder that was in the cartoon that the toy never was able to do. And then we are also going to open up the forearm, and you see how the fist and the forearm are on this little swivel here. So you rotate that around and then close it, and that gives you, and you can give it a little bit of a rotate, and that gives you a robot arm. See, you've got a robot arm. So let's go ahead and do all the same stuff on this side. We're going to fold in the flap. We're going to pull the arm away from the side. We are going to open up the forearm and swivel around the forearm and then close it again. We're going to bend at the elbow. We're going to pull the wing away, and then we're going to bend it in that second joint and then press it against the back of the shoulder, rotate at the bicep, and boom, we now have two robot arms. So at this point, we've got kind of a rock'em sock'em jet guy that's ready to punch out jets. I don't know, but it's got robot arms now. So now let's work on the legs. We're going to give him a little bit of a bend here, and then you're gonna pull, and this is going to be a little bit, so you're going to give it a pull up like this, and then a pull down, because the knees are also on these double joints. It's very similar to a lot of the leg joints in the Combiner Wars aerial bots and Stunticons, where the knee joints were on these double joints that would just kind of bend under, and it's a more secure way of securing the leg rather than the old style slide joints that after not too long would not support the weight of the robot. So we've got that. We're going to split the legs, and now we open up the thrusters. They're each on these panels here. So we're going to open those up, and then we're going to open up this panel right here. And we're going to fold out the foot, and then we're going to tuck in the thruster and close the little door. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other leg. So I'm going to open up that leg right there like that. I'm going to flip out the foot. I'm going to fold in the thruster, and I'm going to close the door. And now we've got robot legs. So, you know, if you're looking for kind of a Battleoid mode, I guess this is Battleoid mode, because he can sort of walk and punch jets. Okay, it's not Battleoid mode. That really doesn't work at all. So now we can take these side panels that the arms are on, and we can fold them up like this. They just come on like that, and then we're going to, you know, it's tough. You have to have the arms in a position that that you can get them up all the way out of the way. That's important. And they also are on little double joints, so they can be brought up, and then that's going to swivel around like this to the backside of the robot. And now this is where things get wiggy. All right, so we're going to open up the chest panel. We're going to open up the back panel. We're going to open up the end here, and we're going to open up that and there. I mean, everything opens up. It's crazy. It's sort of like Cyclonus just exploded into nose cone parts, and now everything. This is the best demonstration of mass shifting demonstrated in a toy, because now this little tip of nose cone folds up into there, and by the way, you won't be able to get that back out, not without some kind of pry tool. So, you know, like I used the end of this little mechanical pencil to pull that out, because my chubby little man hands, they are incapable of pulling that out of there on their own. Maybe if I would stop biting my fingernails, I don't know. And now we can close that, and now this is going to swing back, and it's going to go like that and fold into that, and then that's going to fold into that, and then the whole thing's going to swing around like that. And now you close the chest, you close the back, you close these panels around the body, and lo and behold, and let's take Cyclonus out of his improvised Battleoid mode. There we go. You have Cyclonus the Huntsman. And once again, oh, this is good. This is good. So you can give him his gun. Now I'm going to put that in there, and look at how well that fits his arm. They very specifically designed this gun so that it would perfectly fit around his wrist. And I have to say, I love it. I love it. It's a small detail, but it really makes a tremendous difference. And it makes it so that when he's holding his gun, unlike a lot of characters where, you know, they have these long posts because they've got a big forearm and then their fist is down here, and so they're just sort of holding on to the gun almost like it's a garden tool or something that's just sticking up and kind of pointing forward. I don't know, but he really looks like he can hold his gun and aim it, and then you've got the light piping on the eyes, which works really, really well. So let's go ahead and show him on the other camera so you can really appreciate the dynamics of this figure in robot mode. So here he is in his robot mode, and he really does look great. Once again, I do wish that the purple was a little bit darker and it could use some more paint detailing. But honestly, the bulk of the figure is just very, very nicely made, and he's got really good articulation. You can see that you can get him into all sorts of nice poses. The arms have a lot of range of motion in the shoulders, so that he can get his arms out and he can rotate his wrists and he can move his forearms in all sorts of different positions. The head swivels and nods a bit. He's got a rotating waist. He's got fully articulated hips and knees, and like most of the figures from the War for Cybertron trilogy, he's got a bend at the ankles, which allows him to securely plant his feet. So there's a lot to really like about this figure. The light piping in the head is also pretty effective. You can see there, you know, off and on, off and on, off and on. So he's got a lot going on. The little bits of hollowness that you can see in like the backs of the wings and in the backs of the legs, they do detract a little bit, and that's a shame because it's a beautiful toy design, but these gaps here do make him look a little bit cheap. But he doesn't feel cheap. His joints are nice and tight, and he's got a decent amount of weight. But of course, it could always be improved on. So that is Cyclonus. Quite possibly the best version of this character that we have seen out of Hasbro for one of their main lines. You know, they've done quite a few versions of Cyclonus over the years, and it seems like he's always kind of struggled to capture the coolness that we saw on Transformers the movie in 1986. Speaking of which, this is a Transformers Kingdom character, but he really feels like he should be part of the Studio 86 series. You know, the cel-shaded color and the loving detail and the loving effort in capturing that Studio 86, that Transformers the movie look. I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of that in this line. There's a lot of kind of weird crossover between characters that are in Kingdom, but really would probably belong a lot better in Studio 86 and stuff. You know, Kingdom's a weird line. It's just a weird line. Nonetheless, Cyclonus looks great, and he's about $30. That's the price point for the Voyager class toys now. So not bad. Yeah, I always have to kind of readjust my brain whenever the prices go up, as they always do, because in my head I want him to be like $18. But, you know, that's just not going to happen. That's not the world we live in. Nonetheless, a really, really nice figure, especially if you've got a steady hand with a paintbrush and you've got some model paints. I think that he would be an excellent candidate for just some subtle touch-ups and some little accents to really bring out the details that are in the design, but don't pop out just because it's so light and it's so kind of one color all over everything. So yeah, I like him. He could be the best version of Cyclonus. Maybe. He's up there. He's good. So there you go. Thumbs up from me. if you like this video or you like these kinds of videos, then please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so that you know when Short Circuits videos like these are showing up, which we typically try to do 2 or 3 a week if we can, sometimes more, sometimes less. Okay, usually not more, but sometimes less. We also do a live stream pretty much every Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern United States time. It's a lot of fun. Join in the chat. You'll have a lot of fun. We'll toast to you and be glad that you're there. Everybody's really clever and fun, and it's a good time. So check that out. And with that being said, this is Clay telling you that Cyclonus is awesome, and he's telling me something. Wait, what is it, Cyclonus? Oh, okay, this is from him, not me, but he's saying to keep it Retrobot. Yeah, Cyclonus said it. It wasn't me, it was Cyclonus. Cause you know, he talks. He doesn't really talk. I made that up. I'm sorry for deceiving you.